might slip, you might slide, stumble and fall by the roadside, but don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Walk with the rich, walk with the poor. Learn from everyone, that's what life is for. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Some say yes, some say no. Some people wait and see which way the wind gonna blow. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Well, I might say things that sound strange to you. I might preach the gospel, but I believe it's true. Don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let nobody turn you around, ever, ever, ever.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That is Mr. Stephen Walters, Stephen with a V, as we had just discussed. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, and we come here to celebrate the divine. We come here to unleash ourselves from all of the false ideas and the assumptions and things that are dragging us and weighting us down. We come here to free ourselves so that that divine potential, that spark within us that is alive and well, we fan its flames. Fan its flames. And it is so good to have you with us, whether you were here for the very first time, whether you have been here before, whether you're in the sanctuary, regardless of where you may be, regardless of what time that you're looking at this, there's only one of us here. One life, one power, one presence, one spirit. We are all here and we're all in it together. Let's just breathe that in for a moment. Breathe that in. I also want to acknowledge that in this past week, we celebrated Veterans Day. And I want to do a little shout out to all of the veterans for all of your service, for everything that you've done. My dad was a veteran of World War II, and, I don't know where we would be if there were not people who were out there on the front lines, making certain that we were safe and secure. And I also pray and continue to pray that with all this incredible military might that the United States has, that we always use it for good, that we use it for causes that are just, that we use it for causes that bring more sustainability, more peace, more power, and more presence. That's my prayer. At Inner Light, we have a vision, and we have a vision of a world in which each and every one of us can live up to our fullest potential, where the synergies of that can come together and we can build a beloved community, a place in the space, in the universe where we are all valued, we're all appreciated, where we celebrate in our enoughness, that we break the notion, the hypnotic trance, that there is not enough, that we live in sufficiency. And sufficiency is not a number. Enoughness isn't a quantity, it is a qualitative state of existence where in your heart of hearts you know that you are enough. You know that you are enough. Just breathe that in for a moment. Every month we have a theme, and our theme this month is willingness. It's willingness. We have a topic every week, and every week we also offer you a tool. It's a tool for living. And this tool are these sets of 100 words. 100 words to change your life. They are affirmative activations. They are ideas, they are concepts, they're paradigms, they're action steps, they're ways of looking and framing things. And I guarantee you, if you will be with them some, if you will repeat them, if you will keep them fresh before you in some kind of way, if you will repeat them and allow yourself to embody them, they will shift you. They will recalibrate you. They will make you more in tune to your original vibration. So Stephen Walters was just up here playing his guitar. And Stephen can play a mean, funky guitar. And he's also an exquisite songwriter and composer. But you know, when you're watching somebody play the guitar, even just in between songs, they're always tuning it. They're tuning it back because it gets out of tune. The pressures of pulling on the string, just the weather, conditions. So it's a constant coming back, But when it's being tuned to something in particular. Okay? Not just random, turning stuff. That each note has a vibration. Okay? Like a pitchfork or tuning fork. So these affirmations are a tuning fork. They give you a pitch. And if you're willing to tune yourself and allow yourself to go up to the frequency of the energy that these words are representing, then you get tuned up. You get tuned up. And you will find that you're not flat anymore. You're not sharp. You're right there. But here's the trick. You have to keep doing it. There's no tuning to end all tuning. There's no chiropractic adjustment to end all chiropractic adjustment. There's no meal that's so satisfying that it will cure your hunger for all time. You have to keep eating. You have to keep getting adjusted. You have to keep tuning. So we invite you. We invite you to join us with that every single week and continue it throughout your week. So the topic this month is willingness, and our topic today is the patience for right order. The patience for divine right order. And the affirmations are going to come on your screen. I invite you to say them with me. If you are here in the sanctuary, you'll find them on the back of your program, and feel free to say them with me. The patience for right action. I have an abiding faith in the ultimate goodness of the universe. I am an incubator space for divine order. I am the patience that allows right action to unfold. I am the steadfastness that never wavers from the truth. Sufficiency is my birthright, part of my spiritual DNA. My soul bears witness to miracles as an everyday occurrence. Together, we live each day with enthusiasm and courage. Compassion is the hallmark of our humanity. We circulate compassion deliberately and freely. Fear has no resting place in our mind. We do without doubt. We joyously lean on the everlasting arms. So let's just breathe that in. And I am going to invite Stephen to come back up and give us one of his original compositions to help set the stage for the message today. Stephen, please.
Thank you, Rev Deb. I'll just take just a minute to share with you a bit about this song. Many years ago, I was told I had leukemia and I had months to live, and they at one point gave me 24 hours, and I made it through that amazingly. And then was recovering for a time in Boulder, Colorado, and met a woman, and we were together for a while. We split up, and I remember living up in the mountains, and I went out with all of this pain in my heart, and this little platform that stuck out from the side of the mountain, and I literally raised my hands up, and I said, God, what do you want from me? Because it just felt like I had suffered enough for a while now. Like, give me a break. And the answer that came back is this song. I was walking down a lonely road, looking for a place to rest. There was no escaping from this ache inside my chest. Then I got down on my knees and begged for mercy. I raised up my hands, and I knew the answer, even as I asked the question of just how much this love demands. And it's everything, everything, nothing less than everything will do. And when everything is burned, I will take these ashes and offer them up to you. Shiva, Shiva, Mahadeva, Mahadeva. Shiva, Shiva, Mahadeva, Mahadeva. I was walking down a lonely road, looking for a place to rest. There was no escaping from this ache inside my chest. Then I got down on my knees and begged for mercy. And I raised up my hands, and I knew the answer, Even as I ask the question of just how much this love demands. And it's everything, everything, nothing less than everything will do. And when everything is burned, I will take these ashes and offer them up to you. Shiva, Shiva, Mahadeva, Mahadeva. Shiva, Shiva, Mahadeva, Mahadeva. Everything, everything, nothing less than everything will do.
Just breathe that in for a moment. Breathe that in. How true that is. That nothing less than everything will do. And Stephen, I want to say thank you for your surrender. Thank you that you're still on the planet, that you proved the doctors wrong. And I'm really serious about that. And I'm saying that to everybody, that only God is God. No person, place, or thing is God. And we let things be God that allow us to tell us what our possibilities are. And this is not to be disparaging of the medical profession, but when they tell you things like, well, you've got so long or this or that, all they're saying is that we're out of tricks. We've done everything that we know how to do. And our best guesstimate is without any more interventions by us, this is what progressions look like. But you know what? There's a divine physician. There's only so much that we as human beings actually know about the human body. We don't know that much. There's so much that's a mystery. There are millions of processes that are going on within each and every one of our bodies at all times. Just because we don't know as human beings doesn't mean it's unknown. We are divinely designed. That is not a mystery. This theme this month about willingness is about learning to be willing and not just willful. My topic today is about the patience for right order. For right order. So I'm going to talk about right order, and then I want to talk about patience some. Stephen just gave a beautiful testimony about how very ill he was, given 24 hours to live at one point. Then, in the midst of all of that, a breakup, a heartbreak. And crying out to God, what else? What else? Like, what else do you want from me? Haven't I given you enough? Haven't I suffered enough? And the answer back is everything. I want everything. That nothing less then everything will do. Now, I'm not wishing ill on anyone. But what I know is that God wastes nothing. We have our biggest moments of revelation going through some of the deepest and the darkest hours. There is a right order even in the stuff that we don't like. We, if we had our choices, would rid ourselves of the heartache. We would rid ourselves of the breakups, the divorces, the breakdowns, the addictions. We would relieve ourselves from anything and everything that had caused us pain in any kind of way. But when you really think about it, when you look at your life, you will find that those moments of your great awakening is when you were up against the hardest stuff. We may not want to go through that, like that obstacle course, but how many of us would be willing to trade who we were before for what we are now? Think about that. There's a right order that is transcendent of what we know. This right order is whole. This right order is inclusive. In this right order, there is everything. Nothing is missing. All the supply is there. The next steps are there. The fulfillment is there. The sustainability is there. The connectivity is there. It's missing nothing. Nothing. If we're willing, we can experience it. But most of us don't have the patience. We don't have the patience to wait. We don't have the patience to let go of our expectations. I get these spirit definitions. And these spirit definitions will talk about what it is that we're needing and what it is that we have to have. Can you do me a favor, Stephen? Because I don't want to mess this up. Can you give me that piece of paper right there? I thought I had remembered it, but I'm blanking on it. So these spirit definitions always say that what it is that we have, what it is that we already have, what it is that spirit already has here, and what we need to do to connect these two. I have to say this first. So Inner Light is approaching its 25-year anniversary, like within a couple of months here, very soon. And every month we have these themes of spiritual qualities. And the joke around here is in 25 years, I've never chosen patience as the monthly thing. So the topic today of the patience for right order, let me tell you what Spirit has to say about what the patience is. So sometimes it gives me two definitions. There's always the same formula, something we have, something that's already here, and what activity has to take place in order for us to experience it. Okay? The spiritual qualities are not outside of us. They're not something that we have to chase after. There's something that we have to unleash. There's something that we have to reveal within ourselves. And the definitions tell us what that action step is that we need to do. So it defines patience as this. It says that patience is where your expectations surrender. Patience is where your expectations surrender to divine timing. That's what patience is, your expectations surrendered to divine timing. It gave a second definition that gave even a little bit more nuance. It says that patience is where your sense of timing appreciates divine unfoldment. Woo! Patience is where your sense of timing appreciates divine unfoldment. What are you talking about, divine unfoldment? Divine unfoldment is how the pieces have to come together. And we have an idea in our mind about how that's supposed to happen. These are the kinds of conundrums that we get ourselves in. Well, I know that I have to move. But do I find a place to live here because I'm not really sure about the job? And maybe I should get the job, look for the job first. Because if the job's not here, then I don't want to be stuck with finding some place here when there's supposed to be a job. But I'm too afraid to get a job someplace else because I just started this relationship here. And I don't want to leave this relationship, but I also don't want to miss this good job because I'm stuck on this relationship. And if I go to this other place, will I ever find somebody as good as this relationship here? And will I regret that I moved over here instead of stayed over there? I think you kind of get the point. We get ourselves up in all of this conundrum. But you know what? Just do whatever is before you. When I was a kid, we used to put together these big jigsaw puzzles. And a lot of times, they would be of just landscapes. So you have a lot of little pieces that are the exact same color. These huge things. And my dad used to like to do these with us. And it is as though, if I were to use the analogy of life as a jigsaw puzzle, it's like I'm holding this one jigsaw puzzle, and I'm trying to figure out this one piece of the jigsaw, and I want to know what to do with this piece. Now, in the meantime, Spirit is connecting all of the pieces and all of these corners, over here. But I'm not paying attention to the stuff that's actually coming together because I want to know what to do with this piece. And I keep running around trying to get that. Is this piece going to connect with this one? Is this piece going to connect with that one? Stop fixating on the piece. Put it down. Just put it down. And accept that there's a beautiful puzzle. There's a beautiful mosaic here. It will reveal itself. The right pieces are going to come together, and then you will know which is the next piece that you need to pick up and work with. Instead of you fixating on the piece that you've got in your hand and trying to figure out what's going to fit in with this piece, you can tune into what's unfolding in front of you, and it will be a lot clearer. I can look up this shape over here. It's that thing over there. That's what I need to go get. That's what I need to go put my attention on. The surrender. I get frustrated with the English language, as I share quite often, because it's not a language of the Spirit. We don't have language of the Spirit in the English language. So we recycle all of these other words and put spiritual meaning and context on them. Or perhaps it was the other way around. Maybe they were spiritual words to start with, and we put some other kind of secular meaning on top of it. But however it be, we can't make the nuance. In the secular world, surrender means defeat. That's what it means. I was one of those kind of people, I was never going to surrender. So when all of this spiritual stuff started coming up and I was studying, it's like, what are you talking about? Surrender. I didn't know what it meant. I certainly didn't know how to do it. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do. I lacked the willingness. I lacked the willingness to do it. So listen to what I'm saying. Before you can progress anywhere, before you can make any change, before you can evolve, transform, move on to anything, you first have to be willing to do it. A lot of us want many things that we're not willing to be. We want to be many things that we're not willing to be. We want many things and we are not willing to do the work that it takes to actually get it. There is a gap between my expectations, my desires, and my willingness. But it has to start with willingness. It has to start with willingness. I was just having this conversation the other day with somebody that we both knew and we'd both been praying for. And the person was having an issue with alcohol and substance stuff going on. And we knew that the person was tired and upset with themselves for all of the chaos and the drama that results from the behaviors that they get into from, partaking of all of these different things and all the rest of that. Just, they're tired of their own self. But they're not willing to stop. Check that out. They're not willing to stop. And what does it take to make us willing? See, sometimes we have to, quote unquote, hit that proverbial bottom. As I was just saying earlier in this message, quite often the birthing of our awareness and our consciousness will happen in some of those hardest times and those hardest moments. So there's a right order that happens that helps create the circumstances and the conditions that give us the opportunity to shift and to change. If we are willing, in the midst of all of that right order that's taking place, if we are willing to surrender, if we're willing to let go of the fight. See, in the secular world, surrender means defeat. In the spiritual world, surrender means you just stop fighting. In the secular world, surrender means you stop fighting because you've lost. In the spiritual world, it means that you stop fighting because there's no fight. Because there's only God. God's never fighting with itself. Spirit's never at odds with itself. That fight that we have is just the friction of fiction. That's all that it is. Just these ego characters and personalities and attachments and things that we have. And we're busy holding on to that stuff and rubbing up against the friction and rubbing up and butting up against like all these other things. And if something within you is just willing to stop, just stop. That's the Spirit definition of the willingness that I shared last week. These downloads I get, these spiritual messages, it says willingness is where your suspended doubt is infused with my inspirational encouragement. Willingness is where your suspended doubt is infused with my inspirational encouragement. So to get to the point of the patience, we have to have suspended doubt. It doesn't even mean you got to get rid of all the doubt. Just pause button. Just boom. If you want to pick it up later, you can come back. Just pause it. But I guarantee you that if you will suspend the doubt, if you'll just pause it and allow yourself to be infused with God's inspirational encouragement, you won't hit replay. You won't hit start again. You'll hit reset. You'll hit reset. You will allow yourself to be tuned again. As I was talking about earlier, right before the message, that we're like these guitar strings where life happens to us. We get plucked and pulled, and we get out, we get sharp, we get flat, we get all the rest of these things. And there's a constant realigning. There's a constant recalibrating. There's a constant tuning that has to take place where we keep tuning back. But that means we have to be willing. We have to allow that. We have to be willing to allow the divine to tune us back, to listen, to have the patience to suspend doubt, suspend your expectations, suspend them. Somebody told me of something that Bishop T.D. Jakes said lately, and I loved it. And I don't even know what the whole sentence was about, but I just caught this one phrase, that when your expectations don't line up with your revelations, when your expectations aren't lining up with your revelations, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Too many of us want to hold on to the expectations, and then we doubt the revelations. We need to flip that thing where you're standing on the revelations. Okay? And your expectations are what you begin to question. Because I have found in my life time and time again those moments when I have been the most frustrated with life. It isn't that life has let me down. It's that I had false expectations. Listen to what I'm saying. That I had false expectations. I had the blueprint. This is supposed to happen here, and with this person, and this timing, and this comes first, and this isn't there, and whatnot, and chop, chop, God. You didn't do your part. It didn't unfold the way that I thought that it was going to unfold. Now I'm mad at God. Let me tell you something. Relationships fail because of unmet expectations. That's why relationships fail. Because of unmet expectations, but so often we don't even know what the expectations are until they're not met. We don't even know what they are until they're not met. I don't even know sometimes these expectations that I have about life and God until they're not met. But then I have a chance to be mad at God, at the universe, for not meeting them, or to challenge myself on why do I have that expectation in the first place. I remember getting a spirit letter. I remember it laughed. I had to laugh out loud because in the spirit letter, it was imitating me. You know, well, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, God, and this and that, and, you know, can't you do this? Can't you cut me some slack? Can't you cut a sister some slack? Can't you do this? Can't we just be this way like at least once? Can't you just go along like at least once? No. He just said, no, I can't. It's like, because then I wouldn't be God. Then I wouldn't be God. If I could mold myself around like all your little expectations. So think about this now. When we're impatient, it's not because the universe is slow. It's because we've set up an expectation. And there's nothing out there that says it was going to be that way or to work out that way. We cooked that up all in our own little minds. Yes, we did. So, how I do this in my own life, I liken this whole talk about willingness, the patience for right action, the surrender that it takes, the trust. The 23rd Psalm, one of the most popular passages in Scripture. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the still waters and the green pastures. But it's not just that something's leading. The sheep have to be willing to go. There has to be a willingness to be led. That line in there, I say it all the time in my life. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The rod is the stick that the shepherd uses to fight off the predators, to keep the stuff away that's going to harm the sheep. Okay? I don't know where we misinterpreted. Spare the rod, spoil the child, meant to beat the child. No, you want to keep the stuff away that's bad from the child, lest the child become spoiled. Don't beat the kid with the rod. The shepherd's not beating the sheep with the rod. The rod is to keep away the predators. The staff is that hook, like that little candy cane hook thing. Pulls them, yanks them back. Because the sheep are phenomenal. They have no defense mechanisms. They can't ride, they don't claw, they can't stink or anything. They can't move side to side. They cannot move backwards. They literally will follow each other like right off a cliff. They've got the attention of a nanosecond. They wander all off, which is why they've got the dogs and stuff to like herd them back. They're just these beautiful kind of kind of creatures. And they get themselves into these tight situations that they can't get themselves out of. Because they can't back up. They can't move side to side. And if they fall over, they can't turn over. They're like that. When you see pictures of shepherds holding the sheep, lets the blood go back down into the legs because they get too weak. We're a bit like the sheeple. We wander off. We get lost. We get ourselves in tight situations that we can't get ourselves out of. And I give the universe carte blanche. Just yank me back. Don't even wait for me to figure out that I'm lost. Just bring me back. I'll figure it all out later on divine timing, whenever it is that I'm supposed to know what it is that I'm supposed to know. But if I'm not going in the right direction, if I'm not being where I'm supposed to be, just yank me. Just bring me back. The same thing. I don't care how much I want it. I don't care how much I'm praying to you to give it to me. If it's not for my highest good, don't spare the rod. Just keep it away. Just keep it away. And what that consciousness does is it puts me in this place of willingness. Of willingness. To trust. Right action. Divine order. That there are things going on that I can't see or that I don't know. And to get into alignment with it. To get into alignment with it. So I ask you, are you willing? Are you willing? If you're not willing, are you willing to be willing? People say, well, I'm not ready to forgive. Well, are you willing to forgive? Well, I don't know. Well, are you willing to be willing to forgive? However far back you've got to go on your willingness about anything. If you got to be willing to be willing to be willing, just start with some willingness somewhere, and you'll work your way up. You'll work your way up. And I guarantee you, life is so much better on the other side of control. It's so much better. Do yourself a favor and unshackle yourself from your own expectations so that you can experience the goodness of right action. Let's pray. Oh, yeah. Let's pray. I'm going to invite Stephen to come up and just noodle a little bit underneath us. As we take a breath, we turn within. We turn within. Every prayer is willingness. Our prayers are not about prescribing or dictating to God what needs to happen. We're the ones that are moved in prayer. Moved into seeing. Moved into knowing. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. We're willing. We're willing to see what we couldn't see before. We're willing to go wherever it is that we are divinely led. We're willing to pry our hands off of everything that we're trying to hold on to. We're willing to take the Velcro off so there's no more sticky stuff on us. We're willing to drop the armor, the shields. We're willing to let go of the expectations this moment, we lay it at the altar. We lay it at the altar. We allow the alchemy of the divine to transform and transmute it into something that is beautiful, because, God, you waste nothing. Nothing. So the guilt, the shame, the blame, we lay it down. Everything. The bankruptcies, the divorces, the addictions, the abuse, the incarcerations, the molestation, whatever, we lay it down. So that we're free, untethered. Lord, lift us up where we belong. We mount up as upon the wings of an eagle. We walk, we don't get weary, we run, we faint not. Oh, hear the wind beneath our wings. In this moment of willingness, we say, use us. Use us for something so much better and higher than our own little ego gratification. May we be places and spaces in the universe, God, through which you can shine. Pray through us, play through us, heal through us, sing through us, care through us. We give you everything, nothing less than everything will do. We're not trying to serve you and hold on to this thing or that thing. There's nothing up the sleeve. We don't have some extra spare tire. There's not a plan B. There's just our surrender now. And I know you take all the broken pieces and the things that seem like they're shattered. You take all of that and you melt it down. The alchemy of your divine transforms and transmutes. And even when we're in that state of the meltdown, like the chrysalis in the cocoon between the caterpillar and the butterfly, go is good. Go is good. Awaken within us the imaginal selves. Because even as that little caterpillar melts down, the coating of the caterpillar within it is there. We lay our caterpillar selves on the altar. We're willing. We have the patience for that transformation of the right order. Thank you, Mother, Father God. Thank you for healing our body temples, restoring us. Divine order, right action. We know that there's only life, this side of the veil, the other side of the veil, but it's only life. That it is not even ours to determine. If these body temples are no longer worthy of the majesty of the Spirit, if there's some other realms or dimensions that you would call us to be or call our loved ones to be, so be it. So be it. God's speed. We pry our little fingers off of that which is complete. Relationships, material things, body temples, ideas. We pry our fingers off. And let it go on to whatever it needs to be. We say thank you, God, for sufficiency, for sustenance, manna from heaven, our daily bread, our needs being met, even in a so mysterious way. all good, all the time. We have just what we need, nothing extra, nothing missing. Every divine idea comes with its own supply. So we nurture the seeds of promise that you have put upon our heart. There's no baton pass. You're not asking us to make it happen. The fact that you put it on our heart is proof positive that it's already possible. That our job is the possibility consciousness. We're not trying to do your job, God. We let you figure it all out. Our job is just to know. Just to know it can be done. And we apply this to everything. From politics to the economy to Mother Earth herself. The climate, as these big climate change summits are going on. We have the willingness to do our part. We live in that serenity prayer. Even as we accept what we can't change personally, knowing you can change anything, Lord. Give us the courage to do our part so we do not shirk on that which is ours to do. That we have the willingness to get out of your way and let you do what you got to do, and we have the willingness to do what we are commanded to do. It's good. It's done. We get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. So it is. You know, we need something, Stephen. Yeah, something, anything. You know, just like, you know, even if it's just like a few seconds, but just something to kind of, boom, seal this. Upbeat, downbeat, I don't care. We just need something in this moment. I'll move over, give you some space. Yeah.
You know, I didn't share with you before that when I was diagnosed with leukemia, I'd been living in New Mexico and playing in country bands and very smelly, smoky bars, and often thinking, what the heck am I doing here? And I often wonder, without the leukemia and that whole bit, where would I be? Because it was in the midst of that I came back from that bone marrow transplant, and I met Gangaji and other spiritual teachers, and it's like, thank God you got me out of those smelly country bars I'd been touring. And this next song is one of my favorites, because it's something a friend of mine, I looked back years ago and I said, wow, I remember learning something when we went down to the shore in New Jersey. And I sat and watched these kids swimming out beyond where I could seem to get, because I always kept getting knocked down by the waves. And that's what this song's about. I remember my first trip to the ocean, how the big waves just kept rolling in, and how the first one knocked me right over. I swallowed water and I scraped up my shin. And then I waded in shallow water and just watched all the other kids swim. And I saw this big wave start breaking. I couldn't believe it. I saw this one kid, he just dove right in. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing, laughing. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing. Well, I never had so much fun as I did that day. I swam till my lips turned purple. My mom had to drag me away, and I remember staring out the back of the station wagon on the Garden State, just knowing I'd learned something. Well, the years rolled by, and I just kept my head above water, but it's like I'd forgotten something that I really should remember till the pain got so bad. And somehow by grace I surrendered, and I dove right in. I dove right in. I dove right in. And I came out on the other side, laughing, laughing. I dove right in. I dove right in. And I came out on the other side, laughing. You can try and run from the waves, but tell me, can we really? Wouldn't it be better now just to learn how to swim? It's a lot more fun once you see you are the ocean. Come on, everybody just dive right in. Thank you, Rip, for having me.
Thank you, Stephen. That was absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music to follow a beautiful message. Good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Starr. I'm your Community Ministry Director, and I've got some information for you. First of all, I'd like for you to observe your screen, and on your screen you're going to find some ways to participate in conscious giving. There's a QR code you can see there, a text to give, phone number. There's also a way for you to do online and reoccurring donations on our website. Also want to remind everybody that we do have prayer practitioners available. They're available to us through our phone number and through email, which should be scrolling across your screen right now. This is the season where sometimes we may need a little bit of extra spiritual support. So I encourage everybody, for any reason, that you feel that you need to reach out to somebody for a little bit of spiritual boost, please do so. We're available to you all the time. Coming up today at 2 o'clock, we have our purpose statement revision, location and activities meeting. It'll be live here in Santa Cruz on campus here at the church, and it will also be on Zoom. That information should be on your screen. It's also available on our website and on Facebook. We have our free food pantry every Thursday from noon. And if you do come, please bring a bag, some egg cartons, and don't forget to wear your mask. I want to also mention that on November 19th here at Inner Light Ministries in the Sanctuary, we will be hosting the Sharing Solidarity Shabbat service. I'm just going to read this announcement to you now. As part of the new Santa Cruz County United for Safe and Inclusive Communities, efforts to build a safe and inclusive Santa Cruz County, we invite you to a Shabbat service at Inner Light Ministries on Friday, November 19th. Reverend Deborah Johnson, Rabbi Eli Cohen, and Rabbi Paula Marcus will be sharing songs, teachings, prayers, and stories about our collective vision for a community filled with peace, justice, and love. This will be an indoor service. To protect each other's health, only those with at least 2 vaccinations will be able to join. Please come at 6:30 for a rapid COVID test that will be administered before we begin the service at 7 p.m. This event is part of Santa Cruz County United Against Hate Week, which is November 14th through the 20th. Because of the special Shabbat service, the community drumming, which happens every 3rd Friday of the month, will still happen, but it will be starting at 7:30 and will go until 9 over in our social hall. The doors will open for this event at 7:15. I'd also like to remind everybody that we do have our coffee chat, which is on Zoom every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 o'clock. And this is just a place and a way for you to get whatever spiritual community support you might need during the week. So thank you, have a blessed week, and I'm going to invite Stephen Walters back up to take us home with some more of his amazing music.
A handmade pool with fair stranger traveling through this world of war. But there's no sickness or the danger in that bright world to which I go. Going there to see my father. He said he'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Dark clouds gather round me. I know my way is hard and steep. Beauteous fields rise before me. My babe, my virtues keep. I'm going there meet my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I'm just going Jordan, I'm just going over home.
Oh, great. Thank you, Stephen. And just to remind you that if you are online, and you want to participate in some fellowship right now with other people, there is a Zoom celebratory party that's going on right now. You'll find the links there on your screen, and you can drop in. There will be people there to greet you, breakout groups, so you can have some intimate conversation. And later on today, at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we also invite you, if you're in the Santa Cruz area, to please come down to our center, as we're going to have a great discussion about our next steps, what it is that we're going to be doing. If you can't be here in person, please join us via Zoom, because regardless of where you are in the world, if you're tuning in, you're part of us, part of the spiritual community. Let us all come together and influence the directions that we go from here. So as always we say, take this consciousness and multiply it. Thank you. Peace and blessings to you.